Hi everyone, my name is Hannah. I am a vendor with Stay Home Kansas. My shop is Joyful Creations, as you can see here on the screen. And today I'm going to be showing you probably the most important part of setting up your shop, and that is adding products to your shop. There are a couple different options and a lot of great information to put in for your products to make sure that you have the most success possible. So today I'm going to be showing you how to upload the two different types of products, and that is a simple product and a variable product. So let's get started. So from your account page, we are going to go to the vendor dashboard here. And we are going to go into products. Now you can see I have a few items here. This screen is going to show you all of your products that you have listed. There's a few different options here on this screen alone. You can sort by categories to see what items you have in different categories. That will be important to note too when we go into adding the items. But you can kind of sort and see which items you have listed as home decor and add that filter to see. And you can always clear that filter and see everything. There are also bulk action items. That would be if you wanted to do a couple different items and choose an action like delete permanently. Obviously, I don't want to do that, but those options are available. Then when you look at this table here with your products, you'll see that you've got the product image, you have the title, and when you hover over an item, there's a few options to edit, delete permanently. You can view the item. You can do a quick edit if you want, or you can duplicate. If you have a product that's similar, but just different a little bit, you can duplicate and edit those details. Then you've got your status. There's one of two options for your status. It can be online or draft. If you make an item a draft, that means it's not visible to the public yet. So maybe you don't have all of your photos ready for a product, but you wanted to get all the information in. You could set it as a draft and come back to it later and edit that. You can set a SKU for all of your items, and you can see your inventory here, which will be really helpful as you are making sales so that you know what you need to restock. And then you've got your price that you have it listed for, as well as how much you'll be earning from that product. That is just showing the 10% taken off that Stay Home Kansas keeps to keep the lights on here. And the types. So there's your two types, the simple and variable product. A variable product, as you'll see here in a bit, is an item that maybe has a few different options like color choices or different sizes. So there's a lot that you can do with that. And then you can also see the number of views that that product has. That is a lot of my own testing there for the views, since the site isn't quite up and ready for everyone yet. But yeah, it's really great information here on this page. And then up at the top is what we want today, and that is to add a new product. It will open up this pop-up window here where you can kind of quick add the base information for your product, and then you go back and edit those items. This would be like if you were adding a few items at once, you could put in the base information and hit this button that's create and add new, and it would open up this window again to add another item, and then you can go back into that list back there and edit each one. Or you can just create a single product, which is what we are doing. So I am going to start off by adding in my details that I have saved on my computer for this item. I'm going to copy that in, and I'm going to upload my product image. Now, you can upload the files here similar to how we did banners and stuff to set up your shop. You can also select the file from your computer. And once you've done that, you can also upload a bunch at a time and then have your media library set up, which is what I have done. I've removed a few products in order to show you this process. So my images are already in place here. Again, don't forget that you can add some of these options over here, but they are options. You don't have to fill those in. And we're going to set that image. I'm going to change my price here to the price I want it to be. You can also do a discounted price. So let's say you're running a sale on an item. You could do a discounted price, and you could also schedule a discounted price. Like if you wanted a sale to run over the weekend, you could put those dates in and schedule your discounted price. You can also add a few more images here if you want. And then these are those categories that I showed you we can sort by. So there's a few set ones to help organize the site. This will help customers sort by maybe home decor if they're looking for jewelry and accessories. But the other important thing that you should definitely add on here is the location for the item. So like, let's say if a customer, this item is a Topeka school, so I'm going to put Topeka in here. So if a customer lived in Topeka, they could search by Topeka items. And that doesn't necessarily mean that this item is themed by Topeka, but that's just who your target market is for the item. And then these tags are another way they can sort on your page or even on the site as a whole. These are optional, but still kind of fun to add in so they can sort by some of the things, especially kind of like if you use social media, similar to hashtags, you can kind of group your items by your own personal hashtags, or these are product tags here. So I'm going to add a few like Topeka, and this actually isn't Topeka High, so I didn't mean to add that one there. But I'll add Topeka and maybe class of 2020. Just a few to kind of help sort and add some more details to your product. And then you're going to add a short description for your product there. And I'm going to click Create Product so that I can go into the master edit page for this product. Loads up here. Perfect. So as you get into this edit product details, you're going to have your title that you added in, your product type, which is those ones I was talking about. There's you could choose a variable product if your product has multiple attributes like sizes, colors, and items like that. But this is a simple product. There's only one version of it. These options here, these little tooltips are helpful if you need to hover over those and see what the information is. Like if it's a downloadable product, that would be like a digital file, maybe that you're selling, like a digital photo that they could download and print themselves. You could turn that on, and that will turn off the shipping options because you would obviously send those files digitally. And then you've got your price here with that discounted price if you still need it. And your categories and your tags are down here. And then we move on to that short description, and we have a longer description here. The short description, what I like to do is something kind of fun and catchy. When we get done with this product, I'll show you how it looks to the customer so that we can see where those items fall on the page. All right, the next thing that we were going to do is the inventory. Because this is a simple product, I'm going to use this inventory section here. I'm not going to add a SKU, but I will enable the product stock management here. So I can put in my stock quantity, which is just one. You also have an option to do your low stock threshold. If you, let's say there was 10 of this item, and you wanted to enter your threshold of maybe 2, then a customer would see when there are only 2 items left, kind of like when you're shopping online and it says 2 left, buy it quick. Kind of a way to entice your customers to buy. You can also allow back orders if you don't mind customers waiting for a product. Let's say you run out of your inventory, but they can still order. You can allow back orders. And you also have an option here to allow only one quantity of this product to be bought in a single order. So I'm going to enable that because I only have one of this item, but you can turn that on if you only want one to be purchased at a time. Let's say you had a higher quantity. And then we're going to move on to shipping and tax here. This product does require shipping, and these boxes here are really important because we have that USPS API integration so that it can pull the best prices. So you want to make sure you have this information for it to pull that pricing for your shipping options. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. And you want to put the dimensions of the product itself, not the product in a shipping box or anything like that. This is just the product by itself. So it is about a ½ pound in weight, 10 inches long by 8 inches wide, and about 1 inch in height. And I'm going to add a shipping class on here from the ones I set up in my shipping video. So I'm going to do free local pickup. Actually, I won't for this one because I am in Manhattan. So I'm not going to add a shipping class there. It'll just use the standard shipping methods. I'm going to leave the tax statuses as is. And then this linked products is really cool, similar to also what you've seen when buying online is related products. You can do that with items in your own store. So I have a few other Topeka school signs. So maybe they're not from Washburn Rural. Maybe they're from another Topeka school. So I'm going to add those on here as well so that they'll see it underneath this item. And cross sells is similar. Cross sells are products in which you promote in the cart based on the current product. So let's say you had an item and you want to say, hey, you might want to also add this to your cart. You could put that in as well. And then these attributes, we will not do anything for that at this time. That is more based on your variable products, but you could also add if there is like certain colors you wanted to highlight here in the product details section, you could add those as well. I'm not going to enable a bulk discount for this item, but if you wanted to, let's say if you had a higher quantity of items, you could say if you buy 6 or more, you get 10% off, let's say. So that's an option for you. And then these other options down here, this is where you turn on the product status. Like I said earlier, if you only wanted it to be in draft mode, you could put that there. I'm going to keep mine as online. My visibility, it's visible, and purchase note, customer will get this info in their order email. So you could put some information if you want in there for after a customer buys your item. And then you can also enable product reviews, which I recommend because you want to get that feedback. Once someone has purchased an item, you want to know how much they loved the item that you sold them. So now that we're all done entering that stuff, we're going to save the product. And you'll get a nice message up here, success. The product has been successfully saved to your store, and you can actually go and view the item. It may take a second here to load, but there we go. So you can see here, there's the title that we put in place, and your price is nice and big up here. And this here is that short description. So that is the shorter one. Longer description will be down below here. You can see I added that in. And then you've got your stock availability, which is great, and your categories. So you can see that they can hover those items to maybe sort by that if they wanted to see other items in the Topeka area, or if they were already shopping items in Topeka area, it would grab this item because I tagged it there. And then some tags there, my class of 2020, home decor, signs in Topeka are also ways that they can shop and view items across the site. Now down below here, we have that product description. Like I said, that longer description. You've got your shipping information, which that is a setting I put into the shipping settings from the other shipping video. And there's some other additional information. So it also pulls in that weight and the dimensions of the item that I entered from those settings. Great. So that is the first product. We've uploaded a simple product. Now we're going to go back to our dashboard and upload a variable product so you can see how those options change just a little bit. So I'm going to go back to my products here. And I'm going to add a new product. And this one here, let me pull up my information for it. So this is a sign I made that I'm going to give the customer the option of buying framed or unframed. You can also think of this as like maybe if you have an item with different colors or you have different sizes of a sign, this would be a variable product like I'm entering now. So I'm going to upload my images, and this is one I did earlier as well. So adding that image in, and my default value is going to be framed. You can see this image is a little stretched here. Don't worry about that. That's just the settings on this smaller pop-up. It will look fine when you are actually to the page. And I'm going to add my price in here. Product category, this is also home decor, but this one is in Manhattan. So I want to make sure I update that. And I'm going to add some tags again here. Home decor, wooden signs, and I'm going to put little apple just for fun. And I'm going to put a fun little short description here that they'll see when they first get to the page. And I'm going to create product. And we'll let it load here to get to our edit page. And I'm going to change this product type here to variable. But you'll notice that all of this goes away, and the pricing and all of that goes away, because when you change it to a variable product, you'll be able to control the price and the stock quantities based on each varied item of the product. So I'm going to turn it to variable, and all of that goes away, but we've still got our categories here. Make sure we've got our location on there. That's super important. And your tags. And we've got our short description. I'm going to go ahead and enter my longer description here. I'm actually going to keep some of this off because it'll be great for me to use in the variables down below. So I'm not going to do my inventory here, but I am only going to allow one of this quantity because I only have one of these signs, but I just am offering a different option for the one sign that I have. So I'm only going to allow one of this to be bought since I only have one. And the shipping and tax, I'm going to still enter my product size and dimensions here by the default, but I actually won't enter this here because we've got the variables down below, and that's where I can enter that stuff. And I'm also going to put, but I am going to put my free local pickup here because I'll be able to choose this from my variations here down below. My linked products, I'm not going to link anything because I don't have any of my other Manhattan items up yet. But then here is the attribute section. This is really important for these variable items. So we are going to add an attribute first, and then we'll be able to make variations based on that attribute. And that's what it says here too for you. It has a nice notice. It says, before you can add a variation, you need to add some variation attributes on the attribute section, which is right here. So I'm going to add a custom attribute because it's not a color or a size. It is a custom attribute, and I'll be able to name it here after I add it. Great. And because of how it's entered, I'm going to put the style. That's what the name of this is my style for the sign. And then next you'll enter your values. These are what the customers can choose as their options. So you'll want to be pretty clear in those. And you'll see here it says enter some text or some attributes by separating it with this vertical bar. That vertical bar is found on your backslash key, which is usually above your enter. It's not a very commonly used punctuation mark, so I just want to make sure you're aware. So my two values here are framed, and I hit enter there to go to the next one. You can also do that if you don't want to use the vertical bar. And then unframed is my other option. And I'm going to hit enter. And then this is important. We want that to be visible on the product page. And I want to click this use for variations because that's how I'm going to be able to make it an option for a customer to click, which I will show you once we're all done setting this up here. So I want to have it used for variations, and then I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, and then this here is where it's going to populate my variation. So I'm going to click go. Oh, I did that wrong there. I'm sorry. I'm going to remove that and try again. This is a drop-down box, and I want to create variations from all attributes. So you can see it's going to populate and say 2 variations have been added. And there are my 2 variations that I added in here. So now I can open this up. I've got framed and unframed, and I can open this either by clicking on this bar or clicking over here on the arrow. And you can edit the details for each individual style that I added in. So I have this framed style enabled, and I'm going to add an image for that type, which is my one in the frame here. And I'm going to manage stock via this variation attribute so that I know it's for this type. That would be really helpful if you had multiple items, but there you had 3 of one color and 4 of another color. You can easily do that in here. So you're going to set your prices here as well. That's the first thing here. So my price framed is $35. I'm not going to put a sale price on it right now. And my stock quantity is 1. I'm not going to allow back orders because it is an individual item. And here's where I can change the shipping information because it varies a little bit whether it's framed or not. So I want to make sure I have those variations accurate in my shipping settings here. So framed, it's 11 1/4 inches by 9 1/2 inches and about 2 inches tall. And I'm keeping the shipping class the same as the parent, which just means the parent item is this upper information that's across the board up there. Variation description, I can add a little bit of extra information here, which is that information I said I wanted to save earlier. The frame is optional for an additional $5 and will be pinned into place and paper backed if selected. And I'm going to say mounting hardware also available by request. And I spelled hardware wrong. Okay, great. So that one is there. I'm also going to edit this unframed version. So I'll scroll down a little bit and I'm going to add the unframed image. Manage stock here, and this one is $30. So like I said in that description up there, it's $5 more for the frame. Again, one stock quantity here, and I'm not going to allow back orders. And the weight is just a little bit lighter without the frame, but it's also a little bit smaller. I'm going to keep the shipping class and the tax class the same. And I have a little bit of a different description here for this one. And I'm going to save those variations. And now, oh, it scrolled me down the page there. We're still on this edit page. I'm not going to enable a bulk discount. I want it to make sure it's online and visible. And in this purchase note, I'm going to say when the customer purchases, please let me know if you would like mounting hardware. I'm not going to put an exclamation mark. And I'll put my email in there so that they know they can request mounting hardware. I don't normally add that in just because some people like to sit an item like this on a table rather than hang it on a wall, and maybe they don't want a specific type of mounting hardware added. And then I'm going to make sure that I have my product in reviews enabled, and I'm going to save. And now we'll get back to that product page, hopefully. Yes, success. We have uploaded that product. And we can see, I'll show you the difference here on your product detail page. So we've got in stock and in stock, and you can see it has a variant of prices there, and it shows that it's a variable item. And I'm actually going to view it so you can see a few of those options in action. I'm going to click here, and we will go see the page. Here we go. There's my lovely sunflower sign. I don't have a SKU on it, but there we have the different prices. And you can see here, there's those variables in place that we added. So you've got framed, and watch what happens here. If I click framed, it changes the price for it and also has that information that I added in that specific section. Or I can clear that. I could also, I'll show you here in a minute, but let's show unframed as well. You'll see that it switches out the image for us, changes the price, and puts that different text in there. So those are really great options if you have a couple different variants of a product. And then down below here, we've got that longer description and the shipping information that I have set in my settings, as well as a different additional information, and you can see that this weight is based on the smaller size, like I said, and if I were to change that to framed, it's going to change out those sizes. So this works really well together, and those variables are really great options if you wanted to do so. One thing I'm going to change here, I want to be able to see both of those pictures, so I'm going to actually add in another image. So from my products page here, I'm back in my dashboard, and I'm going to hit edit on the sunflower sign. And over here, I've got this plus, so I can add a gallery image, which I want to do. And I'm going to add that other image in, even though it'll switch it out with the frames. I want to make sure that I have both images ready for a customer to see. So I'm going to add to gallery, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here to save. There we go. It has saved. And let's go check and make sure that that actually worked. I'm going to view my product. And there we go. We've got both of the images here. So you can see and you can swipe through. And there we go. We have it all set up how I want. And that is how you enter products on your site. It's really exciting. I know there's a lot of information there. We keep these videos and make these videos so that you know what you're doing as you start off on that. Maybe you're not used to adding products to a site, but we tried to make it as easy as possible. But just remember, if you do have any questions, Bobby, the founder of Stay Home Kansas, is really great, super knowledgeable on what he has set up here, and he's more than willing to help you if you need the help. All right, best of luck with your sales, and congratulations. We've just uploaded some products. Good luck, everyone. Thanks.